Julantru, greetings and welcome. Welcome aboard the USS Shadowstar, my flagship, for this Star Trek Online stats review video of a defense vessel that is more of a warship. And you know what? She's full of surprises as well. It's very interesting to watch and see. So, keep that in measure, because I'm 100% saying right now, for this detailed review, we are definitely going to find not too many negatives. With that being said, can I give a thank you to Negus, Dante Demonic, Skyhawking, Tribal Typhoon, XG Blackbird, Travis Games, Spike, Captain Rig, Miss Future Teach, Fox Plays Games, and Lord Arminger. This channel's YouTube members, donators, and Twitch subscribers. The generosity you guys have shown to this channel is incredible. And it is at that incredible generosity that I can now introduce you to the UES Aegis, United Earth Defense Vessel, or United Earth Forces Defense Vessel. A beautiful shield of Earth, and one of the founding members of the Federation. Though she's no longer a member of the Federation, it goes to show that our Starship design, well, may have been impeded. Okay. This is a detailed review. We will be going over the stats and the consoles and traits in the second half. We will take this ship into action in the third piece. But first of all, we talk a quick bit about customization, and I'm actually going to throw in a little bit on the appearance of the ship. Did Star Trek Discovery not know that Federation design was actually primarily influenced by Starfleet design? I mean, I know this is a huge time in the future from when we first came up with the NX class, but well, clearly we didn't want saucers and that anymore in the future. Oh well. Customization options for this ship. Newsflash, the ship needs to stop doing this. They're terrible. I'm leaving this in because I'm now calling Cryptic out and their crap whenever I have to. Cannot swap. Cannot swap. Ooh, will it let me swap? Nope, cannot swap. Cryptic. So as we wander around, I might as well talk to you about what you're seeing on the screen right now, the cannon build. Get the fudge out of the way. This came as a result of, basically, I have some other people that help me out, do a bit of background research, and I tested this out in testing. I tested out how the cannon builds do, and I'm telling you now, cannon builds on this ship are very effective. This was a support build, by the way. For those wondering why it doesn't look very normal, this is a cannon type support build. It focuses only on support. But apparently, that one will let me put the target in there. Will you swap now? No. No, no, it will not swap. Rant out the way. This is a very interesting looking ship, is it not? People refer to it as the tooth or the elephant. I refer to it as the horseshoe. I'm trying to get my now anger at Cryptic out of my head, because otherwise my review is going to be completely overshadowed in bitterness. And I don't want that. Oh look, there's no additional things to add to this ship. To be fair, that's fine. This is an Earth Defense Forces vessel. It's not part of any other branch family. It's not connected to any other ships. So fine, okay, nothing additional to add to it. You can't kit bash it. There's no special space barbie for it beyond then adding patterns to the ship if you wish. But at least we still have the patterns to add to the ship that can lead to some, well, intriguing looks. But another thing I would like to point out is just the number of hull types we have here. We don't just have 32nd century for 32nd century Starfleet or the Earth Defense Forces type. We also have Ambassador, Defiant, Galaxy, Intrepid, Janeway. Janeway suits it pretty well, I personally think. Neandra, NX refit, Sovereign refit, Type 0, which looks pretty good on the ship too. There's plenty to choose from for this vessel. Great. Shame they didn't think to give us a bridge for it. They could have done that. For goodness sake, they could have just used the temple bridge. Or if they wanted to, they could have used the Walker Bridge. They could have finally given us a Voyager-esque 32nd century bridge. Why they didn't think of doing that, I don't know. Whatever. Let's take a look at the ship's stats. I need a positivity right now because I'm fuming. And if I can't come back into the game in a second and fix by using my loadout, I will snap and have to walk away. Well, it's safe to say she's one of those ships that is a little bit awkward fitting on the screen. I think I've just decided that come the end of this video, with the scoring of the ship, I'll also be doing my up-to-date scoring of Cryptic. Let's see how well Cryptic does. I'll do it for all videos from now on, see if it improves or gets worse. Love to hear other people think Cryptic. United Earth Defense Vessel. Let's be fair, customization aside, this is actually a really good ship. It's essentially our first command warship. It is a warship type. And it has a lot of potential embedded into it. Let's go for it. Tier 6 warship with a hull modifier at level 65. Her hull is 56,250. The hull modifier itself is 1.25. The shield modifier is 1.4. A turn rate of 8, an impulse modifier of 0.16, and an inertia rating of 75. With a warp core power supply. Her bonus power settings are +10 to weapons and +10 to shields. She also has 4 forward and 4 aft weapons, but can equip dual cannons. Her console layout is a impressive and tactically orientated 5 tactical, 3 engineering, 3 science. She has the inspiration abilities command package added alongside her beautiful console, the mobile defense net that we'll get into in a bit. Her admiralty stats lend her into 37 engineering, 59 tactical and 30 science. The one thing I glossed over there was her bridge officers. Her bridge officers are a measly 4 bridge officers compared to the usual 5, but this is not actually weak, as she has one lieutenant science, a lieutenant commander engineering with command specialization, and 2 commander seats. That's right, the ship doesn't come with 1 first officer, but 2 first officers. These are a tactical commander with command specialization and a universal commander. Personally, this ship would have been a lot better as far as the bridge officer goes if they put that command specialization on the universal, allowing the tactical to be purely tactical, and still getting the augmented best out of command possibilities with this ship if you wish. Having said that, a lot of people will be using the second universal seat as an extra tactical anyway, except me. I'm using it as a science. My build is a support build, and this is what I want to justify with this ship. Now, a lot of people have noted that this ship is a support vessel, and they're very right to do so. Personally speaking, it's one of the best support vessels in the game at the moment, especially considering after testing both what I was planning on showing you, I'm now going to have to rebuild Beam Fire at Will support build, and what I showed in testing, my cannon support build. You can get a lot of firepower out of this ship, a lot of damage out of this ship, and still carry out support perfectly. Now, she gets better, really, because she's also an incredible tank. Now, my support builds, and anyone who is a YouTube member, therefore able to watch the video, will probably note that the moment my shields were lost, my ship was basically lost. My hull, despite a good hull modifier, could not take the pounding. That comes with the weakness of orientating towards shields. And I made sure my sign, as I was a support vessel, I orientated towards shields because, what do you know, support and shield tanking have two things in common. One, they do love science abilities, and two, they love ships that have a focus towards shield defense moreover than any other ship. That being said, this ship is incredibly strong as a shield tank. Very, very strong. She can easily masterfully fly regenerative shield tank or enduring shield tank. She can do a hybrid tank very easily. And moreover, if you don't want a shield tank, because yes, I understand a lot of you players out there will actually are in the camp of shields just don't get enough love. And you're right. You're incredibly right on that one. Shields still are not exactly viable. Even after this ship, shields are not really the most viable. Though there are people out there that can well and truly prove me wrong on that statement. You can hull tank with this ship, and if you do want to focus on the engineering side of things and go for a hull tank, you will find this ship to be not the best hull tank, but she's up there, and I'll give her credit for that one. Now, DPS. In essence, she's missing some of the critical things a DPS ship should have. Speed and maneuverability. She has neither. She's slow, and she turns slow. She also doesn't have a focus on the forward arc, which most DPS players prefer. So, despite her obviously great tactical capabilities with both her consoles and bridge officers, and that bonus power 10 to weapons, do we discount her as a tactical vessel, despite her being a warship? Fuck no. Excuse my French, but fuck no. In fact, she's one of the most versatile DPS ships you can get. Starting off with the obvious, she is a kinetic bombardment platform. No two ways around that. No two ways around that. She makes an incredible kinetics build. And fundamentally, with any other build style I'll go with this ship, I wouldn't actually use torps. I would be using mines. I would preference myself to having mines equipped to the aft of the ship in order to, again, focus and give more power to the forward arc, but at the same time, allow for that kinetic damage to be dealt. After all, there are ways to keep your mines nice and close to the enemies. Furthermore, as seen by my own testing in the end, and testing I was shown by others, this ship is a cannon, well, I would call it a cannon berserker. Now, you see this ship firing its scatter volley with cannons and turrets, and there's no two ways around it. Enemies don't last very long. It can take most enemies out very quick, and the better you are when it comes to energy builds and using cannons, the better you're going to get. My test, focusing on support, still led to a relatively strong cannon damage output. So if you are going for a cannon scatter volley DPS build, your output will be incredible. Easily at least 4 or 5 times stronger than what I was able to get out of the ship, if not more. Then you've got beam overload and beam fire at will. Fire at will is much like shields, not really the most viable anymore, not for a while, and they need some love shown to it. However, the beam fire at will build that you can come up with from this ship is still, much like I found with cannons, very strong. And if you do it right, you still get up there into the midst of the higher end DPS. And a beam overload build, wow, this ship is shockingly strong as a beam overload build boat. I didn't show it in my testing video because I didn't think about it. I did the fire at will and decided I was going to do this, but then I changed my mind just a little, just to put my beam fire at will build through the overload test. And yeah, that didn't last very long. That was a ow. I had so much fun running Conduit with that one. Trust me, guys. I'm not just saying this for the ship's sake right now. Score-wise, because I feel like I should start saying the scores for each section here. This ship gets a support score from me of 9 out of 10. It gets a tank score from me of 9.5 out of 10. And it gets a DPS score from me of 8 out of 10. She scored really highly for a ship that's in the Infinity Lockbox Cryptic. It's a shame you put it in the Infinity Lockbox because I'm still standing by my rules. Being there is a D scorer for her. But that's for the end of the video. How about now we talk about 2 other very strong aspects of the ship. The console and tray. It's still broken, Cryptic. Still broken. Still broken. There's no excuse for it. I'm fucking done. Fuck this. Hello. I'm back. Almost 24 hours later, but I'm back. Can I just show you this quickly? Just let me swap the screen, go back a bit, and you can now see this. Yes, what you saw just then was what you think that was. I saved my loadout after fixing it and immediately swapped to full cannon again. I'm not gonna lie, I was terrified that I was gonna have to rebuild the whole thing again before we do the remainder of this review. I'm doing now. Yay. Cryptic, fuck you. Okay, we'll try to start with something positive. Well, actually, this isn't start, is it? How far are we into this video? I don't even know how far we're in because I've had to restart myself and walk away because of anger. Hold fire. You're not the trait that should be there. Ignore it. Okay. Interlaced emitters. Bridge officers' shield heals provide additional shield benefits to the target for 6 seconds. Luckily, it's not free like they were saying in their own statement. Hey, look at that! Cryptic can't even get their own blogs right. Well, the blog said 3 seconds. We thought it was getting nerfed. Turns out it's not. To target for 6 seconds. When activating Bridge Officer shield heals, you get a plus 20% shield hardness, automated redistribute shields, and immunity to shield drain. This is when using Bridge Officer abilities that provide shield healing. Now, there's a couple of traits that will do this. I've got one right down there. It's nice and strong. Very useful. Honestly, I don't care what anyone says. This is a bloody good trait. And it's about time that Star Trek Online bothered to show a little bit of love to shields and actually make them more viable. This is unfortunately a shield tank only trait. Maybe a support trait, depending on the support player. But nonetheless, it's a very useful trait to shield tanks. And although I wouldn't score it very highly for anyone else, I will definitely score it highly for the shield tank side of things. So, DPS, it scores 1 out of 10. It's practically useless to DPS. To support, it scores 4 out of 10. But to tanks, it scores 7 out of 10. This is because tanks don't only focus on shields. It's not useful to all tanks, just shield tanks. Bonus points to shield tanks. This trait gets 9 out of 10 for shield tanks. On to something else for positivity before I get angry, because I can still see it. I'm getting that off my screen. I'm getting it off my screen. I'm getting it off my screen because it's ticking me off. You there. I'm autistic! Do you know what that means, Cryptic? It means you're the worst kind of person to an autistic. Cryptic really is the worst thing an autistic can deal with. Console, Universal Mobile Defense Net. Now I get to be really happy. Now I get to be really positive. Now I get to scream hallelujah. Cryptic can get something right. Freaking dimwits. So, the Mobile Defense Net with plus 5 to maximum shield power and plus 12.5% to maximum shield capacity, which is actually a lot better than you may think, actually gives an incredible boost to shield output. Enough that this is definitely a viable console just on that basis to a shield tank and to a support player. Now, it gets better. The mobile defense net sustained shield protection within a sphere behind you is very, very, very potent. I have run a few bits of extra testing, seeing as I walked away from the game for a bit. I did come back to it quicker. I just really couldn't review the ship because cryptics ticked me off. But I did come back to do a little bit of extra testing that I did off screen, and in almost all situations that I tested this ship, I can 100% tell you that this mobile defense net will basically keep you and your allies within it alive no matter what the elite TFO throws at you. Including a very powerful lance from a Borg Unimatrix, or was it a Diamond? I don't remember which one fires it. Yeah, I put the ship and this defense net in some very dangerous situations and tried to generate as much threat as possible to basically show the enduring side of this defense net as much as possible. Well, I didn't die. People that know me will know that's a miracle. No, I'm very, very happy with this console's just basic output. So what the mobile defense net actually does is creates to yourself, unfortunately, a few debuffs. Your turn rate cannot exceed 6, so it is actually debuffed and locked. Your flight speed cannot exceed 12, again, debuff and lock. And yourself, you will find that you are disabled for your pilot maneuvers or rock and roll. Funny enough, rock and roll is going to be completely null and void with this console. So while it's active, that's not actually a debuff. That final bit, the disabling pilot maneuvers and rock and roll, so what? So what? One of the main reasons why you may be using those is to get yourself out of dangerous situation. This console has just done that and then some. Because this console hasn't got you out of the dangerous situation, it's got you and your allies that are backing you, standing behind you, out of the same situation. Now what's that saying? If they stand behind you, protect them. Very well put. Now, this is actually a better console than I thought it was. Because originally I thought the sphere was at 4.5 back of your, or centered to 4.5 kilometers back of yourself. It's only slightly in front of you. No. It's 3.5 kilometers, so it does shroud a decent amount in front of you too, just not great. Now, unfortunately, it would be been better if it was 4.5 or 3.5 kilometers ahead of you, because majority of the time, if you take your standard fleet formation, your DPSs are up front, your tanks roll in middle, and support come up the rear. In this situation, the support has to come up at the front. And it's also very seldom you find players flying in formation. However, should you be flying in formation, it set default shield bleed through to 0. You understand what that means? It means that your shields are the ones taking the damage, not your hull. And depending on your shields in this situation, that is incredibly effective. Then you have that plus 50% shield hardness. Now normally shield hardness reduces bleed through, but since that doesn't need to be reduced, your shield hardness here isn't really worrying about the bleed through, but you are happily going to know that you have a damage resistance, as what that will now be is a 50% damage resistance to your shields. You also then gain a plus 1,860 shield restored per second with automated shield facing distribution or redistribution. This regeneration is very effective. It's not just adequate, it's very effective, and it scales. Now, from what I've been able to see, it scales differently depending on who's using it. See, if I use it for myself and boost shield restoration abilities as much as possible, I can get this to a very high amount, easily up to 10 to 20,000 shield restored per second. But here's the glitcher. That would not translate to my allies. That is the weak point I've noticed on this mobile defense net, and I'm not sure if that's intentional, but from what I've been able to see, is the shields restored to allies appear to be based on their shield restoration rate and their shield restoration strength. The more regenerative their shields, the better this shield restoration will be for them, and as versa. The better your shield restoration rate is, the better it is for you, not to your allies. Just something to keep in mind when thinking on this ship. As a result, my final scores of the mobile defense net is such. For DPS players, again, it's 1 out of 10. Actually, no, it's negative 1 out of 10. It is probably one of the worst consoles you could use. You don't touch it as a DPS player. Simple as that. As a tank, since it's actually useful as well to hold tanks, I'm going to give this 8.5 out of 10. With shield tanks getting 10 out of 10 from it. Now, admittedly, if I separate that out and say what whole tanks get, whole tanks are 5 out of 10. See what I get the original score from? Support. Now, you'd be expecting me to say a very high score here, but I'm actually only going to give it 7 out of 10. Like I was initially saying, it's better if this can extend in front than behind. I understand why it doesn't, but because of the standard formation used by players and where support players tend to be, it is a fundamental weakness of the console, and thus, I'm sorry, because you're not centralized in it, or it's not focused forward of yourself, I'm not going to give it the perfect score that it could have had. If it had been centralized, it would have been 8 or 9. Actually, it would have been 9, guaranteed. And if it had been forward, it would have been a 10 out of 10 for support. Simple as that. Okay. So I'm very highly rating of both the trait and console when it comes to shields and that, and helping out shield players. I understand that it's not for everyone. Let's take this ship in action, because I want to show you what this ship can do. And also because I really need to distract myself from how angry I am at Cryptic. So let's do this. Oh, do you like the shiny? I couldn't help it. I had to put section 31 on it just to see what it looked like. Let's do this. This is going to be too easy. I'm actually not using my initial build that I was going to use, but hey, this one comes out pretty damn well. Here we go. Getting nice and close. Fire. They're not going to last 2 seconds. Goodbye. Let's focus through. We're going straight for the Galor class. One that probably could do me using a little bit more of my abilities, but hey, we'll see, we'll see. Jem'Hadar Battleship, I'll display a little bit of fun for you. Eat my world! Boom! Shockwaved. Don't mind me while I show you my balls. Oh my god, I'm not showing you my balls. I'm turning actually a little bit too wide. Oh no! Yeah, shields went down, took the damage. Don't mind me. Here's the problem. Do not let the shields go down. Now, speaking of, I'm actually going to let my shields take some damage here. As we approach. Because I want to demonstrate this. Take those fires off. Oi, auto fire offline. Thank you. Just want to annoy this ship enough to get some attention. I'll turn auto fire back on in a second. Get off my rear. Maybe I can take some damage elsewhere. Let's see. Wait, you guys over here. Come play with me. We'll do this and erase trash. Really generate some incoming anger. Oh god, I wiped them out too quick. Okay, Gemini battleship, you need to do some damage because I'm... Yeah, too high of output. Could you please take my shields down now? Oh, there we go. Come on, a bit more of that. Yeah, come on. A little bit more of that. There we go. Come on, a bit more. Bit more. Oh, just why don't you screw me over? Come on. Here we go. And incoming. Goodbye. Look at that regeneration rate. I can sit here now. Doesn't matter how much he targets me, he's not going to beat me. And I mean, even if he was at full strength, I could take him out within that shield in plenty of time to go. Goodbye. Oh, farewell, Avida, say adieu. How do I kill him? How should I kill him? This is kind of bullying at this point, isn't it? Oh, look, he's coming out with some ideas. Oh, my engines are offline, are they? Oh, okay. Okay, look. There you go, you can have that. Have fun with that. Bye! Oh, I like this ship. I like this ship. Okay, come on, let me be honest here. I like the ship. I think it's great. It's incredible. You saw how highly I scored it for tank, DPS, and support. You've heard how highly I score its trait and its consoles. It's a shame Cryptic put it in the Infinity Lockbox. Because based on what you heard from me, you could easily be expecting an absolutely amazingly high score. And yeah, if it was a Zen ship, it'd definitely be up there. Like the bolt, like the bell wants to toll. You know what? It's still scoring really well, and that should say something for it. 7 out of 10. My overall score for this ship is 7 out of 10. It's good looking, great in all roles, great console, great trait. All of them score very highly. Its negatives are cryptic, 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 and cryptic. Cryptics are its negatives. It's a brilliant command ship. It's a brilliant vessel, just in every way. I really do like the ship. I understand why it's 1.1 plus billion EC in the exchange at the moment. And do you know what? A ship is never worth that much in the exchange, to sum up. But I understand it because the drop rate of lockbox is so low, and people are easily gambling anywhere between 120 to 250 pounds with the Infinity. It's a good thing it's not promo, because that will be getting closer to 300. It's a lot of money. But you know what? I still recommend it to some players. I do recommend it to shield tanks. I do recommend it to support players. For DPS players that want to have some fun, yeah, I'll recommend it to you as well. And to general tanks, I'll recommend it to you as well. Now, I don't recommend it to anyone new to the game, because if you're still new to the game, spending this kind of money is not a good idea, generally speaking. However, if you're highly experienced, looking for something new and something fun, something to really give you a test of what your knowledge is, this will probably be one of those ships for you. So yeah, good ship. And to wrap things up, my final score of Cryptic for this, at the end of this ship, if we say it started off neutral at 5 out of 10, yeah, let's play fair. Starts neutral, they can either build up, build down. Where do you think they've gone? Well, considering I've been plagued by the bugs today and yesterday, actually I keep getting plagued by the bugs, they're down to 3 out of 10. Cryptic, that is my current score of you. 3 out of 10. Do better. Oh, but the individuals that designed recent ships, actually I'll give you a separate score. You guys can have 10 out of 10, because the most recent designs we've had for ships, yeah, they've been absolutely stunning. So Cryptic's artistic department, and those outside of the artistic department that have helped come up with some of their Starship designs, you guys are 10 out of 10. It's just the rest of Cryptic, the dimwits. It's not even actually the programmers that do fix the bugs, because it's not their fault. It's the people above them that won't give the right team and resources. So yeah, those are the ones I'm angry at. What are your thoughts at the moment? And yeah, I'm not asking literally just on the ship. I would love to hear in the comment section, guys, what you think of the ship. I would love to hear in the comment section whether or not you're planning on picking it up, whether you're happy to see shields being made a little bit more viable, if you're hoping for more of this, or if you kind of don't care about shields. And I also would love to hear what your thoughts are with the current atmosphere of Cryptic. Because you know what? The more of us that talk about how we feel about Cryptic and the way they treat us, the more Cryptic will have to acknowledge it. So, speak your mind. And if you think I'm being too harsh, say that too. There's nothing wrong with that. I am probably being too harsh. That is my general attitude. Thank you to all of you for being here, and thank you again to my Patreons, my donors, my Twitch subscribers, the individuals that helped to make this video, as well as others like this, possible. My YouTube members, I don't have Patreon anymore. YouTube members, Twitch subscribers, and donators. Can I also say that, guys, a £1 donation makes a massive difference. So yes, the people that have subscribed, the YouTube members at the £2 mark, or higher at the £8 mark, my Twitch subscribers, and my donors that donated incredible amounts, you have made such a massive difference. And if any of you wish to support the channel like they have and get yourself credited like this, or even a shout out, the links are in the description, but you don't have to. If you wish to remain part of the crew of the Shadow Star, then please subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you don't miss out on future missions. Or if you're disembarking, then I just ask that you take care of yourselves and stay safe. Till next time, ciao for now. Helm, Actually, no. Stay here. I have to do it. I can't do it. Ciao for now.